Chapter 10, The Wyvern. "Please set the patient on the identification table," Mr. Tabby said. The table sat in the middle of a cluttered room. A wide conveyor belt ran from one end of the table to a huge hole in the wall. The hole led into a tunnel of some sort. Mr. Tabby handed Ben and Pearl each a firefighter's helmet. "We must take precautions. Even a hatchling can produce a powerful flame." "It did," Ben said. "It almost fried my face." Mr. Tabby set a helmet on his head, then lowered the face shield. Ben and Pearl did the same. "Step away, please." The kids stepped back as Mr. Tabby removed the lid of the cookie tin. The baby dragon arched its neck and turned its face, looking up at Mr. Tabby. A watery hiss emerged from its mouth, but no flame. Its head fell back onto the green-stained paper towels. Mr. Tabby removed the helmet. "No need for concern. It is too weak." Ben and Pearl took off their helmets and set them aside. Mr. Tabby slid on a pair of white gloves, then grabbed a pair of tweezers from the table drawer. "I thought it might be a bat," Ben said. "That is understandable. The color, the wings." Using the tweezers, Mr. Tabby gently stretched out the bad wing. "But just as I suspected, it is a wyvern. My nose is rarely wrong." "What's a wyvern?" Pearl asked. "A wyvern is a winged dragon with 2 legs," Mr. Tabby said. "They appear in many medieval stories from the area of the known world called Wales." The wyvern was popular with knights in shining armor, who often wore its image on their shields and in their coats of arms. Using the tweezers, he delicately uncurled the hatchling's tail. "This sort of dragon often has a barbed tail." "Can you fix its wing?" Ben asked. "The wing is easily mended," Mr. Tabby said, "as is the puncture wound in the tail. Do you have any idea how it became injured?" "My grandpa's stupid cat caught it." Mr. Tabby narrowed his eyes at Ben. "Stupid cat? You dare call a cat stupid?" A low growl arose in Mr. Tabby's throat. Ben thought that stupid was a perfectly good way to describe a cat, along with mean, nasty, and rotten. He didn't like cats ever since the neighbor's cat ate his first hamster. All that had been left was the end of the hamster's tail. "I don't like cats." Mr. Tabby's mustache flicked with annoyance. "My dear boy, perhaps cats don't like you." "The baby closed its eyes again," Pearl said, pointing. Mr. Tabby mumbled as he typed on his creature calculator. "Species, dragon. Breed, wyvern. Age, approximately 3 days." "Is the other dragon its mother?" Pearl asked. "What other dragon?" "The one Ben and I saw flying. The one that landed on the factory roof." "That is a bothersome question that I shall ignore," Mr. Tabby said. "This hatchling was in our nursery. The cat must have gotten in somehow." "Probably through one of the broken windows," Pearl said. Ben still couldn't believe they were talking about dragons, real, living, breathing dragons. "I don't understand something," he said. "If this is a worm hospital, how come you have a baby dragon in your nursery?" "Another bothersome question." Mr. Tabby removed the gloves. "The hatchling will need surgery to treat the broken wing and the cat bite." "Can I have it back after the surgery?" Ben asked. "No, but if I gave the hatchling to you, I would be breaking the law," Mr. Tabby said. "Creatures from the imaginary world are not allowed to live in the known world. Look what happened with the Loch Ness Monster." "What?" Pearl said with a gasp. "You're telling us that the Loch Ness Monster is real?" Mr. Tabby cleared his throat. "Again, I shall ignore that question." "But the big dragon is living here," Ben pointed out. "In the known world." "The big dragon has Dr. Wu's permission to live here." "Oh dear, I shouldn't have told you that." Mr. Tabby folded his arms and stared at the 2 kids, who wore equal looks of surprise. "Even if I agreed to give you the hatchling, which I would not do, but even if I did, how would you take care of it?" "I don't know," Ben said with a shrug. "I could keep it in my bedroom," Pearl said. "I have a big bedroom." "My dear girl, do you live in a castle?" "No, I live above the dollar store." Mr. Tabby raised a red eyebrow. The tiny creature you see before you will grow to be 15 feet long with a 20-foot wingspan and the weight of 1 ton. When it reaches puberty, more barbs will sprout on its tail. Flames will shoot from its snout when it is frightened, angry, or simply bored. Unless the dollar store is made of stone, you will have constant visits from the fire department. And then there is the issue of feeding it. We can make dragon's milk, Ben said. We can use your recipe. The recipe will only help you for a few days. The milk must be served boiling hot, which is a dangerous feat. The hatchling will grow very quickly and will require fresh meat. Squirrels, rats, and rabbits will do it first, but a full-grown wyvern will eat a cow a day. Wow, Ben said. That's a lot of meat. Exactly. Mr. Tabby picked up the cookie tin and set it on the conveyor belt. I will send the wyvern to the surgery room. But you said that Dr. Wu is making a house call, Ben pointed out. Who will do the surgery? The splinting of a wing and the stitching of a wound are simple matters. He pressed a button, and the conveyor belt began a steady roll, carrying the cookie tin and its occupant into the tunnel. Ben wanted to grab the tin and not let it go, but he knew the baby dragon was going to get the help it needed. He and Pearl stood at the tunnel's entrance, watching until the hatchling disappeared. I didn't even get the chance to hold it, Pearl said sadly. Goodbye, Ben whispered. Now I will escort you two from the building. Most certainly your parents are wondering about your absence. I'm supposed to get home to do chores, Pearl said. I'll be in big trouble if... An alarm rang and a nasal voice shot out of a speaker that was set high in the wall. Emergency code yellow, emergency code yellow. Sasquatch escape, all personnel needed immediately. Pearl and Ben shared a stunned look. Normally, someone shouting Sasquatch escape would have made Ben laugh, but very few normal things had happened since he'd come to Buttonville. Oh dear, Mr. Tabby said. Well, no need to worry. As long as the front door is bolted, we should not have any cause for concern. Ben gulped. His mind raced to the front door and its rusty bolts. Emergency code red, the loudspeaker voice announced. All personnel needed immediately. Sasquatch has left the building.